It's like right here in this video. This is me training once to twice a week, and this is just, minimal amount of effort. But the thing that's consistent at 100% is my diet.
This other question: how much of it is genetics? How much of it is training? How much of it is diet? How much of it is drugs?
So, it's the biggest issue is food. So I'm telling you,
that's number one.
That's number one. So food is without a doubt number one.
And when you say food, what do you mean by food?
I mean being consistent, and that doesn't mean off season or contest. That's across the board. So if you are in the off season and you're not consistent with food, if you're not continuously pushing food, and it's probably the majority of athletes' downfall, because they get to off season and they're like, it's off season. Like I don't have to eat 6 meals a day. I don't have to quite do. If I don't feel like eating, I'll just skip a meal and I'll go grab some fast food and these things. It's probably the biggest downfall. It's hard to eat 6, 7, 8 meals a day with high calories so that your body is literally in a calorie surplus all the time, every single day. It's hard to do. It's probably how I end up weaning out more athletes than not, because they'll be like, I can eat all day. I'll never have a problem. And 5 days later, like, oh, there's no way I can eat all this food. It's just tough. Most people don't realize it. That's first, though, without a doubt. Hard work and training is second. So second, without a doubt, is training. So you have to be able to push yourself. You have to be able to put in work. And again, consistency. You have to be able to figure out what works for you. You have to be able to go in every single day and push beyond really what the body is capable of. Push, push, push mentally. Third is probably drugs. It would be ludicrous to say that it's not part of it, because at the highest level, it is part of it. But it's definitely after food and training. And then after that is probably, genetics is going to fall in between probably training and drugs, actually.
So you don't think genetics is more important than food?
No.
Really?
No, I don't.
Can I ask you a question on that and challenge it?
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. You competed.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. When you competed, you know this stuff. So you could have applied it for yourself to go to the top, right?
Absolutely.
And the only reason I'm asking this is because some guys, I'm 6'4" and a half.
Right.
The chances of me going out there, the tallest guy that ever won it, you know who it is?
Right.
It's Arnold. So don't you think like there's a sweet spot
there
to the genetics to come? Because you look at Phil, you look at some of these guys.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like with me,
I'm talking to win. I'm not talking about to compete.
Yes.
Yeah.
To win for sure. Now that's a whole different ballgame.
Genetics is first.
It's definitely at the top of the game,
okay,
because when you're talking tiny percentages, like you're talking because when you look at you could look at the top group right now. So the top 3 at the Olympia was Brandon, you had Boanak, and you had Hadi.
Yeah.
Okay, so all 3 of those guys are phenomenal bodybuilders. But in reality, none of them have the genetics of Phil Heath. None of them. Which is why if Phil Heath is in that group, he is a superior athlete, without a doubt. But when you look at all 3 of those, they all 3 have phenomenal genetics. Mm-hmm. So there's no way you can say like Brandon Curry has bad genetics. William Boanak has bad genetics. They all have at the top of the genetic field. But there is always going to be that outlying guy that is a Phil Heath and a Flex Wheeler that is just God-given. That there's no hard work, that there's no...
That there is or that there isn't?
There's nothing that can match that.
Oh, okay, I got it. So
listen, there's like Flex Wheeler,
yeah.
I don't care how hard you work, I don't care how many things you take, I don't care who you have working with you.
You're not going to look like the guy.
You're never going to look like Flex Wheeler. Yeah.
Especially within the fitness, weightlifting, athletic kind of community, there is the reoccurring question of how much time and energy should we be investing in these particularly domains. One being diet, how much energy and time should we be investing in that? Our training in general, and what kind of gene expression we have. Do we have the athletic genes of someone like a Dorian Yates or a Rodney Coleman? They're just top tier athletic expressing genes. So starting from number 1, Your diet. How many calories are you getting in a day? Are you in a calorie surplus? Are you getting the recommended amount of protein that you need for the activity that you're going to be taking on for that day? Are you having the proper amount of nutrients? Are you getting A through Z vitamins and minerals? 2, what is your training style? What is the tempo? How many days a week are you training? What is your schedule? Are you doing pull, push, pull? Like, there's so many different variables that you could keep on asking that's going to make you think, okay, if I do this style of training, what is going to give me the maximum amount of results, whether this is stemming from like a weightlifting perspective, a powerlifting expressing, bodybuilding, and the last one, just our gene expression. What role do our genes have in the bodybuilding or weightlifting realm in general? And I think with due time, all of these have a role. All of this correlates together. Every small bit of this has a puzzle for the grand aspect of it. But if my case and my experience, and just from this video we watched, the number one thing you should be focusing on more than anything is diet. What are you putting into your body? Obviously, this is your fuel. This is what's going to be giving you the energy, the results that you need. That stems from getting your food in first. That is the foundation for everything. Before you're stepping into the gym, before you're buying your membership, before you're doing all this kind of shit, yeah, that's great. But at the end of it, you have to start with your diet. If you're trying to really build a physique and you're trying to be consistent to actually find your body to start growing and have results, or even be in a consistent manner, that's going to start with your diet 100%. And you have to experience this directly before you can, preach these kind of words in a sense. Because right now, even in my phase of my life, I'm only training about once or twice a week. Very medium intensity training at home. I got, squat rack, bench press, all different variables for different styles of training, but it's very non-intensive. And at the same time, I'm training once to twice a week due to dealing with some immunological issues that if I do a heavy, intense training session, I'll have a central nervous, like almost fatigue shutdown, which will cause, sick flu-like symptoms. And I have to be very careful of how I'm choosing my style of training and the duration of time. So what I have currently available for myself is only 1 to 2 times a week training. And the thing that I've been queuing and focusing on more than anything is my diet, making sure I'm in a calorie surplus, getting all my meals in. Majority of top tier athletes, they don't complain about the training. They don't care about, the amount of drugs that they're taking. The thing that they're complaining most about is the consistency and getting the meals in. Just like that video we were listening to, I was pointing that this is what the athletes complain about. The most difficult aspect of it, the most difficult part of their job is getting their meals done. And that's at the top tier pro level. No, it's not the training. It's not getting to the gym. It's not, getting the most amount of sleep. It's the factor of the simple aspect of just getting your meals in. And it's hard. It's hard, it's hard to be in a position where you feel like you're going to throw up because you can't get another inch of, food down your throat. But if you're really trying to get committed and trying to have maximal results with your physique or your training results, that's going to stem from your diet 100%. Being that calorie surplus, finding something that works for you. There's a lot of hype with the carnivore diet, ketogenic diets, omnivore diets. Like, find what works for you regardless of that and just be in a calorie surplus. If you're following that, you will notice that either A, you're going to have maximum amount of results, and then at the same time, you're going to realize that at least you can be consistent. Because if you go to the gym and you're just kind of half-assing on your diet, obviously you're not going to have the fuel, you're not going to have the intensity in the gym at all if you don't have the calorie surplus. And just in general, obviously this is common sense kind of material. You got to get your food in for you to have the energy for the growth and whatnot. But once you start realizing that this is the pinnacle point that you have to execute perfectly every single day, then that's when you'll start noticing a lot of your results. Like right here in this video, this is me training once to twice a week, and this is just, minimal amount of effort. But the thing that's consistent at 100% is my diet. And I think that if you're looking where you're lacking within, your physique or just in general, you're at a plateau, identify and really pre-focus onto your diet. If you nail that, then you'll be flying through results. I guarantee you that. Other than that, guys, I have more videos coming through this week. Just wanted to kind of give you my results because it's kind of been my direct experience so far. It's been minimal amount of training, not too much, short intensity, nothing more than an hour of training. And then, the only thing that's been really consistent every single day is getting those meals in. So other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to help out. Peace out.